Is Mothman. I'm here to present to you the new combo Dragonmaids after the post 2020 ban list for this month. I can't believe they hit so many things that they shouldn't really have hit. They hit Call by the Grave for no reason, probably to sell out cross out designator. But right now we're gonna focus on the Dragon Maid. On the Dragon Maids, dragons are becoming really meta. This deck is nowhere close to being meta. It's good, but it needs a lot more work to actually be viable. So I'm gonna show you the ratios of the deck. This is more of a combo build than the control build, and the combo build is really it makes really nice boards with stuff like Borlot Savage, Dragon Maid Show, the what's it called? Hieratic Spheres, and then possibly more depending on what route you decide to go with. If you want to go with the synchro build, if you want to do the regular combo build with the rockets, it's up to you. So for the regular Dragon Maid ratios, it's the 3 parlor, 3 chamber, 3 kitchen, 2 nurse. For the baby dragons, this is all you really need. You can cut out a nurse for another. I mean, you can cut out a kitchen for another nurse if you wanted to. The what's it called? Kitchen isn't really your starter anymore. If anything, it's more often these two. The nurse is a really good extender during your opponent's turn. It lets you combo off. It lets you combo off. It really helps you combo off. Like what you do is during the opponent's turn, when it turns back into its small form, you special summon her nurse effect activates special chamber, add a dragon bait spell or trap. And chamber's ability to add a dragon bait spell or trap is really important because what she does is she can essentially give you your changeover. She can give you your what's it called? She can give you your changeover. She can also give you your hospitality as well. And if you happen to have what's it called? If you happen to special summon her while you have kitchen in hand, you can search their new spell Tidying, which essentially is an extender, which is a really really good extender in case you get Nibiru'd, in case you get Gammaed. It lets you. We'll explain it more in detail later. So onto the big forms, which you don't really run too many of. You run the one Tinek, the one Ernius, and the Lopar. You could bump this up to 3. You can bump this up to 3 if you want. It's essential. This is really good because it's a quick effect special summon. By discarding it, so what you do is you discard this special summon a nurse, and then you get to fetch cards from, and then you get to fetch your dragon beast from a graveyard, special summon it, and then you get to search or dump something, or it all really depends. But this is really good as a starter as well, so you might want to play 3. I personally only play 1 because it gets a bit bricky. It gets a bit bricky if you're playing more. If you're playing more than 1, but it's up to you. It's up to you ultimately. Now towards the engine, I choose to run the rocket engine. So 3 tracer, silver rocket, Apsa router, and magna rocket. Tracer is really good. It's a quick effect pop on anything to get you another rocket. Apps router searches the tracer. Silver rocket pops a card from your opponent's extra deck. Stuff you could target stuff like needle fiber. You could target Barlot Savage. It all depends on you. Magna rocket is the usual target for tracer to go into level 8, which vary depending on what you have. You can go into stuff like Savage. You can go into what's it called? Yeah, you can go into Savage. You can go into the Draco Berserker. You can go into the. There's really a lot. There's a ton of things you could really go into. You can also substitute this for a different type of engine. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't really know, but this is by far one of the strongest engines to run, especially since it didn't get any hits at all. The the non the non archetype cards that I also run are the Dragoonity Phalanx, the Red MD, and the Tempest. So Phalanx is another small combo you can do with Dragunity, Divine Lance, and Romulus. Uh, Red MD with its errata. This doesn't have the errata yet, but I'm gonna see if I can find one with an errata. But essentially, this is still good, even though what's it called? Even though you can't abuse it anymore with LP and Pisty. Tempest is Tempest. It lets you search by using either your Parlor or your lore part. You can special summon it, or search out a dragon using it. Moving on to the spells and traps, we have right here hospitality. It's a good starter as well, but it's mostly an extender to get stuff out of your hand as well as setting up the graveyard. Changeover, it's your fusion spell. It recurs itself so much. If this gets banished or anything, you can choose to run two if you think it's gonna get banished off of like anything. If it's gonna get negated, you could just bounce it back to your hand, and then next turn you can set it up. But still, if anything, you should run maybe one or two depending. I choose to run two in my own separate build, but I dropped it down to one just because it got a little bit bricky at times. Because this is searchable by everything. It's searchable by my chamber. You could dump it off a Parlor to then bounce back Parlor to do this. Then you can special summon Parlor back, or link off, or you can link off one of the other ones into Striker Dragon to then combo off. Ultimately, it's up to you, but I prefer to only run one. I would run two, but it gets bricky. It gets really really bricky if you do. For the non-Dragon Maid traps, boot sector, you're running Striker Dragon, so you have to, and you're also running rockets. Quick launch. There's a combo with this and Rocket Tracer into what, like 2-3 negates depending on the hand. Or Legacy Guard Dragon to move your Guard Dragons. Divine Lance, because it's Divine Lance. This is really good to search off Romulus if you're not running Ravine. Moving on, we have Dragon Shrine. This is used to send Absol or any of your big dragons to the graveyard if you don't happen to open any good combos. This can really do everything. Once Absol is sent to graveyard, you get to search a rocket card. So you get to search it. So you get to usually search Tracer, special summon Tracer with quick launch, or with something else to then pop quick launch if you happen to activate it to get 3 rockets on field. These are extenders. Dragonmaid Tiding. We really only use it for the second effect, where it says you can banish this card from your graveyard to then special summon a Dragonmaid from your hand. This you can usually pair it up with Foolish Burial Goods, but I prefer to dump it off a Parlor, even though there are better effects for Parlor. But still, this can essentially extend after Nibiru. The thing is with this as well, you can also dump this off of Kitchen's effect if you happen to get the search off. Moving on to the extra deck. Striker Dragon, Guard Dragon package. For the Link ones, LP and Pisty are they explain themselves. These are really good in any dragon deck. Striker Dragon sets up for Striker Dragon sets up for the combo with Boot Sector launch. Okay, onto the Link 2s. Romulus, Heretic Spheres, Quad Boral. Romulus searches your Divine Lance. You can search a Ravine as well if you want to set up Graveyard. Heretic Spheres is a bounce. You get to special summon cards out. You get to special summon a Dragon Monster off of it tributing itself while it's in the extra monster zone. So it could be in the extra monster zone or anywhere a Link monster points to. It would you couldn't see, but essentially anywhere a Link monster points to, you could tribute itself to special summon a dragon. The only Link 3 I run, Triple Burst Dragon. I only use it for the down arrow because it's really good. You could also use this to make what's it called? You can also use this to make other stuff. What's it called? Like You could pop this with your quad boral if you happen to make it. If you happen to make it before quad boral to then pop it and then special summon three rockets from your graveyard to pop off again. Abomination. You could choose to run this or not. I personally run this because it's free pops whenever any of your Dragonmaid effects activate. House effect and then to pop a monster effect pop something, end phase pop something. If something's destroyed, pop it. It's just really good in this sort of well, not meta game, but it's still really good in this deck because it helps you with your combos. Borlow Savage, it explains itself. You equip any link monster to it. It gains counters. It's the negate you usually get during the end of your combo. Onto the actual Dragonmaid cards. House Dragonmaid. Again, it's self-explanatory. A pop. It special summons your Dragonmaids from graveyard or hand as well. Show. This is your negate before Nibiru. If you happen to make it, I usually always make this with the Dragonmaid changeover. You could also, if you want, you can also do Super Poly if you happen to be going up against a mirror match of Dragonmaids, or if you happen to go up against Dragon Link, Super Poly their Borreload Savage, they lose their negate and you gain a negate as well. Same thing with House Dragonmaid. It can also be used as Super Poly target as well. I personally don't run Super Poly since I don't like to discard the cards that I want in my hand, like the Dragonmaids. So yeah. 5-headed dragon, it OTKs. You can make it very, very easily. Ultimately up to you. I'm gonna be showing off some of the combos I usually do with this deck. We'll see you guys right back. Okay, so we're back. So what happens is that the combo, it usually isn't a 3-card combo. It could be really a 2-card or even a 1-card combo depending on the hand. But let's say this is your hand. What you would do is you would normal the parlor. Let me just move this up. So you normal the parlor, activate her effect to dump Tiding. Then what you can do is activate the Tiding effect, banish it, special summon our chamber. Chamber would then trigger to add a Dragonmaid spell or trap. You can choose whether to add changeover or you could add hospitality depending on the hand and the game state. Usually from here you can go into. Usually from here it depends on where you can go into, but I usually prefer to add. I prefer to add the changeover over. Pun not intended, the changeover over the hospitality because I usually never have more than 2 or 3 Dragonmaid cards in my hand, and none of them I would really like to special summon off of hospitality because if anything you're gonna use a normal summon anyways. So why waste your special summon on like a nurse if you have nothing in your graveyard, or if you happen to have let's say a higher level Dragonmaid in your graveyard, why would you special summon the nurse? But let's say this is your hand right now. What you could do is you could activate the changeover to then fusion summon either of these two. It doesn't matter which one. With your level 7, with your level 5 or higher monster, usually Router in this case, to make your hand trap negate or your Nibiru negate depending on what the game state is. Then you could link this off for Striker Dragon. Actually, first you would activate Router effect to add the Rocket Tracer, and then you would link off into Striker Dragon. Yeah, I'm just making sure. Okay, so now this is in graveyard, and then this and then this is in your extra monster zone. You have this in hand. Now now your Striker Dragon activates to add Boot Sector launch. If I can get it. Add Boot Sect, and then from there you can go into your. From there you can go into into your combo. It depends. Again, it depends on the game state, but still. So now you would activate Boot Sector launch to then. And then activate the effect, special summon your Tracer. Tracer effect, popping Boot Sect to then special summon a Rocket. Magna Rocket is special summon, and now you have a Link 3, or you can go into Link 2 depending on what you want. That's just the basic combo. You can then synchro if you want, but usually you would want to Link 2. I go into Romulus to then activate the Romulus effect to search Dragonmaid Divine Lance. Then equip Divine Lance. Link this off. Link this off for Guardian Pisty. Then activate Divine Lance effect. Since it's equipped with Dragonity, you can equip one Dragonity monster to the equip monster. You equip your. If I can find it. Equip Phalanx effect, special summon. Usually, if you have the zone empty, you would special summon another dragon or winged beast from your hand to a zone that this card points to. So which means you would usually summon it here. So in which case you would still have the guard dragon combo anyways. So there you would link out the Phalanx. You could also choose to go into Needle Fiber at this point. Going into Guard Dragon LP. Activate LP effect, special summon any dragon monster you want. So let's say for this case, where is my red MD? Let's say for this case, red MD. Red Eyes effect activates to special summon any dragon from your graveyard. But let's say they Nibiru you. So what you would do is that you would return this to the extra deck. Special summon your house Dragonmaid from in order to negate the Nibiru. So then Red Eyes would go through again. Then you could choose to special summon any from your graveyard. It doesn't matter what. So let's say for this case, Rocket Tracer. And then here you would link 3. You're link 3 using these for. Actually, wait. So yeah, you would link 3. You're link 3 there, or using this if you happen to get Red Eyes off your field into the Triple Burst. Activate Pisty effect, special summon a card from a graveyard. Right there would be Magna Rocket. You could see where this is going, but then you could link these. Then you can link any of these off into your Unchained. I decided to use all 3. There goes your Unchained Abomination. Then you would synchro these 2. For Savage or for any synchro 8 for that you might have. But let's say you have Savage, then you equip Triple Burst. And then there you have 3 counters. You have 3 counters on board load, so now you have a pop. Well, this all depends, but This all depends because you still have 2 cards in your hand, 2 or 3 cards depending on the combo. But well, let's say you have three. Let's say you have 2 cards in hand. You still have 2 cards in hand, and you already ended on Abomination, Borreload Savage with 3 counters, and then a Shell that already uses negate for Nibiru. This is the basic combo, but it's a really good combo nonetheless. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me just pan this up to show you that I have the Abomination right there. Yeah. So yeah, this is usually your end board. It's a negate, and a pop during the end phase. It all depends on you, but yeah, you still have let's say 2 cards in hand. So 2 cards in hand plus House Dragonmaid plus 3 or 2 counter Savage and an Abomination. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a comment on where you want to see next, and then I'll see if I can get to it. I'm most likely gonna do Harpy or Infernal next. Most likely Pendulum because it's the best deck. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Mothman out.